Okay, so we're doing this repair job here. This is a pretty nice Lenovo. It's an IdeaPad S340-15IWL. Pretty nice. The #1 key is stuck down, so we got a replacement touchpad here. And some pretty good condition, so customer should be happy. Bottom screws are already off of it because we had it apart to make sure there's nothing going on with the connector. So just pull this off. Comes right off. So with these models, the keyboard is actually fused to the top plastic, so if the keyboard goes bad, you have to, it's the only option. So we had to get the entire top. You can see all the rivets where it's fused into the keyboard on there. So now we'll pretty much have to transplant everything that's in here into here. The screen, motherboard, battery, everything. So first thing, obviously, take out the battery, because if you're messing around with something, you don't want it to short something out, kill the motherboard accidentally. So that just pulls out. I guess we can take the battery out too over here. This one's pretty nice because it labels where the screws go, so it's pretty hard to accidentally forget where they went. Pull this out here. And it also has some cables routed here for the speakers, the left and right speakers. It's got this little route here, so that'll just come right out. And battery's out. Let's put that off to the side. These are the 3 screws that we got from the battery. We have this nice little mat here that we use to sort the screws. So put that in the one that says battery. So we just labeled these. This is something you can get from iFixit, and it's magnetic, so you just drop screws on there, and we label them with Sharpie markers. That's that. Really, nothing has to be done in any specific order with most of these jobs. You know, if you want to start unplugging the battery and taking the fan out, you know, it doesn't really have to be any specific order. Take the fan out next, just because I mentioned it. Throw that into the fan screws. This should hopefully lift right out. And we've never done work on this exact laptop before. We haven't watched any videos, so exactly what you're seeing is our first time pairing this and taking it apart. So you really don't need to be a genius to do any of this stuff. When you work on laptops, you know, a little bit, you'll start to, everything's pretty much the same. So fans out, put that off to the side. This model has a solid state drive in it, and this drive bay, I believe, is empty. Feels empty. So we can go ahead and just take this out. This is just like a little drive caddy in case you want to add a secondary storage device. So it looks like that's only 2 screws, I'm guessing. And it doesn't slide, so we have some hidden screws down here. These speakers generally are just held in with these little, I don't know what they're called, little rubber pieces. So we got 2 more screws hiding down here. This is the drive caddy. Get that out. So this will just lift right up. Oh wow, so it's actually, it's got, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but it says HDD dummy. It's actually a weighted fake hard drive. So they weighted it down. Very interesting. Okay. The one that we purchased actually, ironically, has this little side I/O board with the USBs in it, and it actually has the CMOS battery as well. It comes with the touchpad, and this one actually has even the power jack, so it's going to make our job a little bit easier because we can leave some stuff in, particularly in this section here. So, okay, it didn't come with speakers though, so let's go ahead and pull these speakers out. I usually like to set them off kind of like how they were, so I can just pull the new part in and place them down exactly how I saw them, so I try to leave them in the same orientation and whatnot. Got the screen connector here. Whenever you see those with this little black tab on it, they pull up. I know it's pretty easy to break stuff like this when you do it the wrong way, but if you know that it pulls up, it's got quite a bit of resistance on this one. But let's pull upwards on the connector, and of course it doesn't want to give, as usual, but eventually it'll pull off. So on this model, I guess that screen connector can be in there pretty good. So okay, screen connector is out, and I'll unroute the cable there. Next thing I'll do is unplug the little I/O board. We have all this on the new one. If you had to do this job, maybe you wouldn't have that part, so you would have to take this out too. Unplug the keyboard. That's the thing that's faulty. That touchpad right down there. And they actually put the warranty sticker on the screw for the solid state, so if you ever have to replace that, you'll be winning your warranty, I guess. So break the seal on that, pull the drive out. Actually, that really didn't even have to come out, but I'm going to take it out anyway. And okay, so next we'll do the power jack, plug that, pull that back, make sure you can see it. And the wireless card, the antennas go to the screen's going to have to come out during the transfer, so we're going to have to take out the wireless wires. It's covered by this little foam piece. Wireless wires can be a little bit tricky because they're delicate, so you usually just lift up on them and they come right off. Just like that. The wireless cover you can leave in the laptop because the screw doesn't go all the way through, it just goes to the motherboard. So that's pretty much it in terms of the external stuff. Now we can take out the motherboard. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3 screws on the motherboard. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 screws on the motherboard. And they're labeled with these little white triangles. That's pretty common. They'll be labeled usually. But if not, it's always a good idea. If theirs are ever not labeled, you can take a black Sharpie marker and draw a little line across it so you know that this hole has a screw there. Because you don't want to end up putting a screw in where a screw doesn't belong. So put that off to the side. Another one, so it's also labeled. This one down here, it's also labeled. Put that off to the side. Okay, I'm going to try lifting up the motherboard here. A little bit tough. Actually, I can grab by the heatsink, it looks like. This folds up. Make sure, look underneath, make sure you got no connectors or anything like that. And just like that, the motherboard's out. Again, put that off to the side. And so now, last thing is the screen. We have the jack already, we have this I/O board, so at this point the screen has to come out and then we'll be able to start the swap. So we have 2 hinge screws on each side. Also, these are labeled. Ironically, this one doesn't have a screw, this hole right here, but it does actually have a triangle on it. Very strange. So we'll have to remember that the bottom 2 are the ones that have screws. Very interesting. You don't see that very often. Or I don't, at least. You might, but I don't. Okay. Now that the hinges are unscrewed, we can kind of lift this up, make sure and it should just fall right out. Okay. Actually, good thing we saw this customer has a USB sender, so plug that. And now it should come right out as long as everything's unrouted correctly. And here's the old part. We have this, we have this, we have this touchpad, so this is pretty much garbage now. The keyboard's bad. Here's the new one right here. Usually best to start working in reverse. So since we just did the screen last, we'll put the screen in first when we put everything back together. Make sure the wireless wires, everything's out of the way. So just hook it on, same way the other one came off. Push the hinges down, like that, make sure it's aligned. Sometimes the screen isn't aligned. Remember that it's the bottom 2 here. Screw these in. That's 1, that's 2. Bottom 2 here, that's 1. And that's 2. Okay, now for routing the cables. You can route the wireless wires, they go under the hinge, like that. And then we have the video cable, so like that. You can see the cables pretty much align themselves to where they're going to go anyway. Again, since we're working in reverse, now we'll do the motherboard because that was the second to last thing we did. So we'll fold everything back. It's very easy to accidentally let the connector go under the board and forget about it. So make sure all the cables are folded backwards, out of the way. Put the motherboard in. Usually best to line up the ports into the plastic, because if you don't, it won't go in all the way, because sometimes there's metal on USB ports or HDMI ports that stick out, so you want to make sure it fits in the hole first before you set it down, or it might not be aligned. So just like I did, this one went under, so we'll pull that back up. Wireless wires are also still under, so I got to make sure that those are back up. Push it in at an angle here. Like that. Put my fingers around, pull these wireless wires out. Okay. Very good. Just on in there and loose. Over there. Okay. Now make sure we have this connector, this one, and this one. So I can attach the antennas back on. These ones are labeled M and A, which are usually the main and the auxiliary, I believe. So these ones are labeled black and white. So pretty much, again, these are very fragile, so don't put too much force on them. They will click into place when they go in. So there's the Wi-Fi wires. I can just fold that down. They're pretty flexible. Okay, heat sinks in. Start reattaching the connectors. This is a little bit out of order with how we started. That's okay. Put that back in. Then we have the touchpad. Touchpad side of the motherboard connector. Put that back in. We have the power jack. Again, it's not plugged in, so there's no problem in plugging that in now. Customer's USB sender, probably for a wireless mouse. Put that back in. I/O board. Put that in. I'm gonna do the fan next. Actually, we'll do the motherboard screws first. Again, these had those little white triangle markers, so we know exactly where these screws should go. 3 bottom screws on the motherboards. And another one here. And another one up here. And that's the motherboard fully attached. You can always check the connectors to make sure they're aligned. There's nothing weird going on there, but everything looks to be okay. We'll do the fan next. The fan just seems to line up with these little posts, and we can plug the fan in. Okay, the fan's plugged in. We have 2 screws on the fan, one here, and one here. Okay, looks good. And now we can use these little routing things that we took the screen connector out of, and we can route the cable back through this little channel here and back onto the motherboard. Push it down, it should click in the opposite of the way that it came off. Always give these a nice push, because the screen connector can sometimes have a lot of connections on it, so if there's one making not a good connection, that will mess things up. Okay, we have our dummy hard drive weight that Lenovo decided was necessary. Put that in. Got 4 hard drive screws. These 2 were underneath the speakers, so I have to do these first. That's why it's always good to work in reverse, because that way, if I had put the speakers in first, I wouldn't have been able to put this in, and I would have to take these back out again. So put this in now. Line these up here. Okay. And the cables are pretty rigid, so they'll effectively remember where they were routed. So put this underneath here. ahead and plug the speaker in. Speakers. Okay. Make sure that this is aligned correctly. No screws because they have like a vibration thing on them. The solid state drive. It's an M and B key, so a SATA one, not an NVMe. Screw for that. The R&T screw. Which is fine. Okay. Now our last thing is the battery. Battery kind of covers. Make sure this looks good. This one here actually routes inside the battery like that. Okay, now we can finish up here. Make sure that's aligned. Everything's routed. We will screw the battery in. A lot of times they use the same batteries on multiple models. So you'll see like this one has a screw post where it's labeled that the screw should go here, but there's no post for it. So probably it was designed for multiple laptops with one of them that has that. So. Okay, now the bottom can go on. Make sure you plug in the battery first, that's pretty important. Okay, we'll just check all the connectors and then we can put the bottom back on. So we got this, we have our screen, our I/O port, our fan, that's a pretty important one. Battery, this one down here is labeled KBL, which is the keyboard backlight. That one's on the board because the higher end model will come with that. So usually they'll keep the same motherboard, leave the connector on, and then whether you have that version of it, they'll just plug it in. This one doesn't have a backlight keyboard, so not a problem. And so everything looks good, everything's routed good, all the screws are in. We're left with no screws left, so that's a good sign. Throw the bottom back on, just push it in. Make sure it snaps in. I'm going to leave the bottom screws off just so I can flip it around and test it. And then we will be good to go. Hit the power button. Pretty normal when you take out the battery on one of these for it to seem like it's not turning on when you first get it. Like right now the power light's on but you can't see anything. That's usually the BIOS. When you disconnect the battery with these newer laptops, they power the real-time clock with the actual battery itself. So you can see the name, but as you can see, keyboard is working correctly. We'll log in, get the customer's password, test all the keys, and then we'll be good to go. So that's it for the IdeaPad S340-15IWL.